As I'm sure you know, pre-season is one of the most important times of a season for a football club. It was no different for Nottingham Forest, having their first season back in the Premier League since 1997. Not only is it a good time to look forwards to the next 12 months, but it's a good time to review what happened in the previous season. In episode 1 of season 1, we mentioned 6 players you should look out for during that season. Lewis Graben has now retired and Carvalho headed off to Middlesbrough as part of the deal that saw Spence return to Nottingham Forest on a permanent deal. Brice Samba again is going to be playing a big part in this season, as will Joe Worrell, who's going to be captain of his favourite club, and of course Brennan Johnson, who's going to be one of our key men up front. Of course, back in the Premier League we do need some new players, so let's have a quick look at some of the players we managed to sign. With wingbacks being one of the most important parts of our formation, Omar Richards joining for just under £11 million from Bayern Munich was a massive deal. Returning to England after leaving 2 or 3 seasons ago, he will be key getting up and down that wing. On the other side and in midfield, we have Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He probably will be retrained to play at right wing back, but in central defensive midfield and centre midfield, he can contribute going forwards and backwards. We got him for just £6 million. And our final key improvement was signing a new centre-back with a little bit of pace. Mavropanos has exactly that, and for just £8 million and just under £40,000 per week, he will be very important at centre-back, trying to cover for McKenna and Worrell when they decide to bomb forwards. These weren't the only signings that Nottingham Forest made, however. They got Artyom Dobvik on a free transfer, the Ukrainian striker after having his contract terminated. Keenan Davies rejoined on loan to be the second strongest striker in the whole Premier League, and to replace Philip Zinchenko, who did such a big impact on our season last year, we got Callum O'Hare, who can drift from that left wing into attacking midfield, a very technical, very agile and very determined player, who's probably slightly better at winning the ball back than Zinchenko was. The footage in the background is our final match of pre-season, the European International Cup semi-final against West Bromwich Albion. One of the standout players was Callum O'Hare. Making his debut, he managed to get 2 goals, and the other 2 standouts surprisingly were Lyle Taylor and Nuno da Costa. Both of them have now departed, but they really did give the manager Steve Cooper something to think about with their performance in this tournament. However, the Premier League has no room for nostalgia and being kind to players. Their wages were used to strengthen elsewhere, and Forest really did need strengthening, with their first 2 matches being Liverpool and Manchester United. Can Nottingham Forest get any points out of August? Well, it's time to find out with the first match of the Premier League. The occasion won't bother Forest too much. They've played at big stadiums very recently. In fact, their last professional match was actually at Wembley, a slightly bigger stadium than Old Trafford. Still, some of the players on show, including captains Scott McTominay and Cristiano Ronaldo starting up front, proved that this was going to be a lot tougher of a match than anything they would ever face in the Championship. With the Theatre of Dreams packed out, it was Brice Samba who was called on very early on, after just 7 minutes. Bruno Fernandes took the corner, it was whipped in, aimed at McTominay, who outjumped the Forest defence, and it was 1-0 after just 8 minutes in the Premier League. It's always going to be dangerous when the other team has Cristiano Ronaldo up front, and he proved a sister to Marcus Rashford just before the half-an-hour mark. But thankfully for Nottingham Forest, it was judged to be offside, VAR coming to Forest's rescue. Just 10 minutes later, it was time for yet another dangerous Manchester United attack. Correa was running down the wing, and an unfortunate slide tackle and missed interception saw Ronaldo in the box, and this time Rashford was onside, Ronaldo getting the assist, and it was 2-0 to Manchester United. Ronaldo was again really important for their next move. Bruno Fernandes linked up with a nice 1-2. He found McTominay found new signing Correa, and Van der Beek blasted it just wide, nearly going down 3-0 at half-time. Would have been an emotional killer. However, Forest weren't all about defending. They did have their own attacks, but this one was stopped by Manchester United. This time it was Ronaldo who was through on goal, and Brice Samba proved that he could save a shot from any player in the world. If you can save from Ronaldo, you can save from anyone. This seemed to inspire the Forest team, because next up was a nice Forest move. Brennan Johnson used his pace and Maitland-Niles used his close control before slotting it past Dean Henderson in goal. All of a sudden, Forest were back in this. This seemed to give Forest even more of a boost. Ryan Yates winning the ball straight from kickoff found Keenan Davies, and he knows all about Brennan Johnson's pace. In the Championship, he gets into this position, it's a goal every day, but he panicked and shot a little bit too soon, blasting it over the bar. However, Manchester United were about to teach Forest a lesson that you can't make any mistake in the Premier League, especially when it's Cristiano Ronaldo you're passing the ball to on the edge of the box. A lethal finish, and all of a sudden it was 3-1 to Manchester United. With just under half an hour left, Manchester United were just trying to keep the ball and play out a fairly certain victory. However, when Bruno turns and has that much space, Rashford isn't going to miss a one-on-one, so all of a sudden Forest were 4-1 down. And that's pretty much how the game ended. With Forest 4-1 down, they tried their best to try and get at least a consolation goal, and with Liverpool coming to the City ground in the next match, they knew they would have to perform a lot better. It looked like the weather gods had seen Forest's prayers, because the rain would definitely prefer their game style to how Liverpool play. With Liverpool being masters of the press, of course Forest in training did focus a lot on breaking this press. Quick moves and having nice agile players throughout the pitch were going to help Forest if there were any spaces to be exploited. Thankfully, the formation that Forest play, a 5-2-3 formation, does leave a lot of triangles, so any kind of mistake like this one from Robertson that Brennan Johnson pounced on after just 5 minutes could be punished, just like Brennan Johnson did there. What a goal, and Forest were all of a sudden 1-0 up at home to Liverpool. Could the miracle be on? Well, Brennan Johnson saw Keenan Davis, and Davis saw Maitland-Niles, who was running through from midfield. That's the kind of agile run we wanted from him, and that's the kind of finish he's got. 2 goals in 2 games means that he's been a really good signing for us so far, and all of a sudden, Forest were on top against last year's champions. Diego Jota, of course, is always going to be good in the box. His finishing and weak foot both absolutely lethal. But it was actually Mane playing striker who couldn't quite beat Brice Samba. What a save that could be if Forest can hold on to a 2-0 win. Yates found Maitland-Niles yet again, who moved it on fast as we were practicing in training. Larrea saw Johnson, and Johnson, with the calmest finish, just managed to bobble it straight past Alisson in goal. All of a sudden, it was 3-0 after just 30 minutes. Could Forest finally manage to get some points in the Premier League? Well, this time it was again McKenna who made a mistake, getting beaten, and all of a sudden Forest were back in danger. Mane absolutely punishing Forest just like Ronaldo had done for Manchester United. Milinkovic-Savic was replacing Thiago as a new signing for Liverpool, and it was actually a big part of his physicality that managed to get them a second goal just before half-time. His header found Mane, and Mane's finish was yet again lethal. 3-2, and Forest were absolutely in danger of a typical Forest collapse. And it was even worse after Joe Worrell almost got done for a handball. It was blocks galore, and Samba yet again providing heroics in goal to keep it just 3-2. Corners were of course Forest's big selling point in the Championship. They were absolutely lethal from them, but Ryan Yates got done by Salah, and then Samba saves and Milinkovic-Savic off the bar. Forest were absolutely getting all the luck in this one. What they really needed was a 4th goal, and it looked like that was going to happen when Larrea played through Keenan Davis. It looked like he might get caught, but there was no stopping the shot that he unleashed with his left foot. A hero last season, and now he's got a Premier League goal at the City ground. Liverpool proved how dangerous they were at the last corner, hitting the bar and causing that save, so just after the 70th minute, there was panic all around Forest when Salah got the ball on the edge of the box, and Milinkovic-Savic managed to turn and chip it over the Forest goalkeeper. Yet again, it looked like Forest would need another goal. Ojeda bombed forward, and this time he had a couple of options. He saw Brennan Johnson. He managed to just get it out to him. Brennan Johnson tried to get it past Alisson, but this time it was Alisson doing a save, not Brice Samba, probably one of his first of the game. Forest were pushing for a goal, as were Liverpool, and it was Henderson and Salah who probably scored one of the goals of the season here to equalise it. 4-4. What a match this was. Absolutely no disappointment for the Forest fans until the 91st minute. When Mo Salah had a shot saved, it bounced straight back to him, and you can see the disappointment on Brice Samba's face. That's how the match would end. Forest had collapsed from a 3-0 lead to losing 5-4 in stoppage time. And because we looked at transfers and pre-season in this episode, that's all we have today. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you don't want to miss anything else. From next episode, we'll try and get back to getting 6 to 10 matches in a video so we can speed through the league and get some cup games in there as well. Our next match should be a bit easier actually. It's against Barrow in the League Cup. So if there's any players you wish to see in that starting 11, leave them in the comments below and I'll try and play a match with a team you guys suggest. Let me know who you want in what position, and I'll try and make it happen. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate the support in the last season and all the people commenting they want to see more of this. It's really fun for me to make if it does maybe take me too long per episode to put them out. But thank you all for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it and want to see more, and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next video. Thank you and goodbye.